Imagine you're walking down a busy street and someone accidentally bumps into you. Before you even have a chance to register what happened, a word escapes your lips almost automatically. "Oh, sorry." Or perhaps you're in a meeting and you have a clarifying question to ask. You raise your hand and begin with, "Sorry, just a quick question." You find yourself apologizing for taking up space, for having a need, for existing in a way that might momentarily inconvenience someone else. Your sorry is not an apology. It is a shield. If this reflexive habit of over-apologizing is a constant feature of your daily interactions, you've likely asked yourself a question. Why do I say sorry all the time, even for things that are not my fault? You might have brushed it off as just being polite or nice, a harmless quirk of your personality. But what if this habit is more than just good manners? What if it's a deeply ingrained safety behavior, a people-pleasing pattern that is subtly undermining your confidence and reinforcing a belief that your needs are an imposition? This isn't about becoming rude or inconsiderate. It's about understanding the psychology behind this habit so you can learn to communicate with a confidence that is both kind to others and, crucially, kind to yourself. So, what is the core concept behind over-apologizing? This habit is often a learned safety behavior, a form of what psychologists sometimes call the Fawn Response. You may have heard of the fight, flight, or freeze responses to a perceived threat. The Fawn Response is another one of these adaptive strategies. It is an unconscious attempt to avoid conflict, disapproval, or annoyance from others by becoming as pleasing and non-threatening as possible. A key tactic in this response is to preemptively de-escalate any potential tension. By saying sorry first, you are essentially taking the blame for any possible inconvenience, however small. You are making yourself smaller, less imposing. The unconscious logic is, if I take responsibility for this discomfort, then they can't get angry at me. If I show that I am deferential and pose no threat, then I will be safe. This pattern is often learned in childhood, particularly in environments where expressing one's needs or making small mistakes was met with a disproportionate amount of anger or criticism. You learned that it was safer to be apologetic than to be assertive. As an adult, this pattern can become so automatic that you don't even realize you're doing it. It's a protective strategy that is no longer serving you. One of the most common ways this pattern shows up is in the workplace, when you apologize before asking a question. You might say, "Sorry to bother you, but can you explain that report?" Or, "Sorry, this might be a stupid question, but..." The apology serves as a preamble, a way to soften what you perceive to be an imposition. But what message does this send? It subtly frames your perfectly reasonable need for clarification as a problem. It implies that your question is an annoyance and that you're not fully entitled to the information. This can undermine your professional credibility, making you appear less confident and competent than you truly are. It's a small habit that can have a significant impact on how you are perceived by your colleagues and superiors. This tendency also frequently appears when you have a different opinion. In a conversation with friends or a partner, someone might state a view that you don't share. Instead of simply saying, "I see it differently," your first instinct might be to apologize for your perspective. You might say, "Sorry, but I don't really agree," or "This might sound controversial, but..." You're apologizing for your own thoughts. This pattern is rooted in a fear that disagreement will lead to disconnection. You believe that to maintain harmony, you must minimize any differences. But healthy relationships are not built on perfect agreement. They are built on mutual respect for different perspectives. By apologizing for your own, you are implicitly telling yourself and others that your point of view is less valid, or that it is a threat to the connection. A more subtle but deeply impactful pattern is feeling responsible for other people's bad moods. Imagine your partner or a close friend is having a bad day. They are quiet, irritable, or withdrawn. Even if their mood has nothing to do with you, you might find yourself feeling anxious and compelled to fix it. You might ask, "Are you mad at me?" Or you might find yourself saying, "I'm sorry you're feeling this way," as if their emotions are your fault. This is a classic manifestation of the Fawn Response. You have learned to manage the emotional state of those around you to feel safe. Their bad mood feels like a potential threat, and your apology is an attempt to soothe that threat. This dynamic is exhausting, and it prevents a genuine connection where each person is responsible for their own emotional world. And finally, this habit is incredibly prevalent in our digital communication, particularly in emails. Take a look at your sent folder. How many of your messages begin with a phrase like, "Sorry to bother you, but," or end with, "Sorry for the long email"? We use this apologetic language to soften our requests, believing it makes us seem more polite. But more often than not, it weakens our message and signals a lack of confidence in our right to make the request. You are not a bother for doing your job or for asking for what you need. While politeness is important, there is a powerful difference between being polite and being needlessly deferential. One communicates respect for others. The other communicates a lack of respect for yourself. It's a common myth that over-apologizing is just a sign of being a nice, polite, and considerate person. We often confuse this habit with humility, but there is a crucial difference. Politeness is about showing respect for others. Over-apologizing is often a lack of respect for oneself. A polite person might apologize sincerely when they have made a genuine mistake that has impacted someone else. An over-apologizer, on the other hand, apologizes for their very existence. It is not about making amends. It is about managing a deep-seated anxiety about being too much or taking up too much space. It is a strategy of self-minimization that is ultimately unkind to yourself. Consider a person named Ben. For years, he started nearly every sentence in a team meeting with "sorry." "Sorry, just to add to that," or "Sorry, I might be wrong, but..." He believed this made him seem humble and easy to work with. But his manager gave him feedback that his ideas were good, but his apologetic delivery made him seem unsure of himself. Ben decided to try an experiment. For 1 week, he made a conscious effort to eliminate the word "sorry" from his professional vocabulary. When he wanted to ask a question, he would simply ask it. When he wanted to add a point, he would say, "building on that idea." It felt incredibly unnatural and arrogant at first, but by the end of the week, he noticed a shift. His colleagues were listening more attentively. He felt more confident. He realized that his ideas were strong enough to stand on their own without needing to be cushioned by an apology.
So, how can we begin to unlearn this deeply ingrained habit? It starts with small, conscious language shifts. The first and most powerful tool is the thank you swap. This practice involves replacing your reflexive sorry with a statement of gratitude. For example, instead of saying, "Sorry I'm late," you can practice saying, "Thank you for your patience." Instead of "Sorry for taking up your time," you can say, "Thank you for your input." When you vent to a friend, instead of ending with "Sorry for complaining," you can say, "Thank you for listening." This simple swap is transformative. It shifts the focus from your perceived failing to their act of generosity. It communicates confidence and appreciation rather than guilt and insecurity. It is a powerful way to reframe your interactions in a more positive and self-respecting light. A second practical tool is to conduct an apology audit. You cannot change a habit you are not aware of. The apology audit is a simple self-awareness challenge. For one day, your only goal is to notice and mentally count how many times you say sorry. Do not try to stop yourself. Do not judge yourself for it. Just observe with curiosity. You might be shocked at how high the number is. Notice the situations that trigger your apology reflex. Is it at work? With your family? With strangers? This act of pure observation is the first step to making a conscious choice. Once you are aware of the pattern, you can begin to ask yourself in the moment, is an apology actually warranted here? Have I made a mistake? Or am I just trying to manage my own anxiety? A third practice is to build your muscle for assertive, neutral statements. Over-apologizing often comes from a fear of being direct. We can practice replacing our apologetic preambles with simple, factual statements. Instead of, "Sorry, I have a question," you can practice saying, "I have a question." Instead of, "Sorry, I disagree," you can say, "I have a different perspective." These statements are not aggressive or rude. They are clear, confident, and respectful. They communicate that you have a right to speak, to ask, and to hold your own opinion. Start by practicing this in low-stakes situations. The more you do it, the more you teach your nervous system that directness does not equal conflict. You are building a new vocabulary for self-assurance. You do not need to apologize for your presence, for your needs, or for your questions. Your voice deserves to be heard, and your perspective has value. This is not a call to abandon politeness or to stop apologizing for genuine mistakes. A sincere apology is a powerful tool for repairing connection. This is about letting go of the reflexive, anxiety-driven sorry that serves only to make you smaller. Replacing these reflexive apologies with gratitude or direct statements is a powerful way to reclaim your space in the world. This journey is about building self-respect, one word at a time. It's about unlearning the old rule that told you to be quiet and accommodating to be safe, and learning a new one, that your authentic self is worthy of being seen and heard. As you become more conscious of your language, you will not only sound more confident to others, you will begin to feel more confident on the inside. What is one sorry you could try to replace with a thank you this week?